Now for a word on voting. We have been checking in with voters across the tri-state area as they consider the issues most important to them in November, Election Day, of course, which, by the way, is 91 days away. The voters we spoke to mentioned similar themes like social justice, election reform, the economy, but one thing rang true amongst all of them. That is, just go vote.
When I try to think about what I prioritize, I think that about how polarized we are as a country right now, right? And that we live in a time where exaggerations and mischaracterizations and honestly, sometimes straight up falsehoods become truth, and where it's common practice to be like distrustful.
And I think it's important as we head into this new space of voting to ensure that we're electing people to office that have that equitable and inclusive lens.
What it really boils down to is this election is about the President of the United States. It's about the Supreme Court. I mean, every time Ruth Bader Ginsburg burps, we're nervous.
It doesn't matter if you are Democratic, doesn't matter if you're Republican, doesn't matter if you're black, white, gay, it's human rights. Everyone deserves certain rights, and who's going to support that?
Basic human rights. That's top of mind for 22-year-old Raven Santiago. Born and raised in the Bronx, she moved to Georgia a few years ago. She's currently a student.
Because down here, local to me is way more important on a smaller level because it affects everything else around it.
Luis Perego Moreno lives in the West Village. He's 61 and is in a committed relationship. He's the founder of a media company focusing on Latino issues.
Well, I've already made my due diligence. I've already ordered an absentee ballot.
Tim Costanza is from Staten Island. He's 32 and engaged. He's a New York City charter school executive.
Right, I live in a borough that is truly like a swing district. And when you drive across the district, you can see lawn signs for opposing candidates on every other lawn.
Lucria Ortiz is from Teaneck, New Jersey. She's 44, married with 2 children, and is the CEO of a nonprofit.
I call myself an equity leader, and what that means is I look at or scan all issues and communities and things that we face from an equitable lens, which means that we look at people at their multiple layers and not just the one box that America has this habit of putting people in.
It's interesting because the last time we had this conversation with other voters, what was more important to the voters then and the voters now is just the very act of voting. And it sounds like what I'm hearing from all of you is voting, period, full stop.
I have made it a way of life that I don't care if it's a dog catcher's election, I'm out there voting. Because I take the right to vote as a Latino, as a human being born in the United States. I take it as a sacred right and I vote.
I think the voting is important, but what I've wanted to say is the next day is so much more important. Who got in? How are we holding them accountable? What are the policies and votes that they're going to take when they're either on the congressional floor or in the city council and town council?
I do give you 50% is what happens the day after. But look, I still bring it back to the first 50% is we have to vote on election day.
I didn't vote. I didn't vote because I was down here and I didn't know how it would work. And honestly, I just let my ignorance get the best of me. And I feel like with my generation, we all did that. So this year, I'm taking that opportunity. I'm using my knowledge, I'm using my resources, I'm encouraging other people, especially my age, to go out and vote.
I hope everybody goes out and vote, but not just going out and voting. It's more about like, are we making informed decisions and are we understanding what information's in front of us and where are we getting that information from?
As soon as these last elections occurred, where mail-in ballots were required by the entire state of New Jersey, there have been websites set up to see whether people's vote actually counted, and then we go back to the county clerk's office to confirm. So I think it's really important for us to grab this issue locally, because I believe all politics is at the local level.
We have so much work to do, you guys.
I'm tired.
No, you can't be
No.
tired.
No,
You're the
no,
youngest
no.
one here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our voters. But remember, it is your turn. We want to hear from you. If you would like the opportunity to tell us which issues are going to bring you to the polls in November, just email us at votervoices@pix11.com. Again, votervoices@pix11.com, and you can be part of our next voter panel. Very interesting there. I love that Raven Santiago, who is our youngest voter, said, listen, my generation decided last time we weren't going to vote, and now we have to make up for the mistakes that we made in the past. So really interesting to hear all of those voices.